What's going on? It's Mike with Albatwitch Crawls. Back at Sam Lewis on this windy day today, so we'll see how the microphones do. But I'm here to test some brass to see the differences of what I had to what I did put on. The last time I was here, I was running the SSD brass knuckles. It's a combined weight of 142 grams, I believe, if I'm correct. And then I replaced it with the Vanquish brass that I just released for the F10 straight axles. Now that is a total of 302 grams of weight, and so that means just one of these knuckles equals the combined weight of both the SSD knuckles. I did add the Vanquish brass tubes to the rear axle to help keep the back end from popping up when coming down on a decline. So we'll see how everything does. I'm gonna run some of the lines I know and ran last time to try to get a comparison of the two different brass weights to see what I want to do in the long run for this rig. So let's rock and roll. Let's see what happens here. So there's a bit more leaves down today compared to the last time I ran here. The weather is about the same. It's in the low 40s, so got some cold rock. I did take out the Tacks Unity 10 2-in-1 and whoa, I put the Fusion Pro back in. Can't go wrong with the Fusion Pro. I also did customize a Rock Pirates bed to fit onto the Mullet chassis. Now the rock might be a hair slick this time too, because we did have a good bit of rain yesterday, so there we go. Took a little more effort today, but it could be, as I said, could be the slick rock, could be the excess weight, but we'll see what happens as we go on. See how the extra weight does with this notch here. Kind of gotta bring passenger side up higher. To clear it. I mean, it just walked that pretty dang good. This is a line. Once I get up to where I'm trying to go, there we go. The rock feels a little slick today, I think, between it being cold and the rain yesterday. But this is a line that I have yet to make. I'm wondering if the extra weight will help. Usually just beyond this point you see that knot in the rock, right above where I'm at now, to the right above the driver. Usually right around that point is when I roll. Come on, you can get it. Take traction. There we go. We're gonna get it this time. I don't think it's gonna get it. Let's move off to the next. Getting too rambunctious right there. Let's slow down. Here we go. Come on. Come on. Oh. Get that tire up. There we go. We want to turn in, but kind of get the driver to settle a little bit. It's looking a bit better. There we go. This is what I want. Here we go. There it is. There it is. That's a beautiful climb shot, as long as it's on screen, which I hope it is. Let's go around. here it goes. Let's see if we can get this part now. Come on, pull up. You can do it. There it is. Okay. All right. So let's get down to the brass tacks of this. I ran the new Vanquish brass knuckles, 302 grams added to the front end of this, but it's unsprung weight. And with unsprung weight, it just means I had a better bite on the climbs. So with that, I had less hopping, so I didn't have to fight for traction. My tires stayed loaded, so they would hook up a little more consistently. It kept it planted better on steep climbs, and I wasn't having my front end lift as much with going over breakovers. It was definitely the advantages of having weight. Now, cons to it is I didn't see it so much because I do run brushless and high voltage servos, so it didn't come into play so much for me, but it can, too much weight can kill the responsiveness of the front end. It can slow it down. It can add stress to your servo, so it will like burn out a whole lot faster. It can, like, the weight of the knuckles can keep you from getting damage depending on the situation because they're sturdier, but at the same time they can create damage, which is one of the things that I experienced during this crawl session. I wanted to keep playing longer. I was there for a few hours, but I wanted to play longer, but I kind of stopped because I had which is not in the video, I had a pretty decent fall. It was about 10-foot drop. I snapped the bull bar off of my front bumper, and I bent the bumper this way along with the front end of the chassis. Like, if I were to show it to you, I don't know if it would show in video of it being bent, but looking from the front end down on it, you can definitely see, which is going to change the geometry of things. Luckily, it's 4 links, so it wasn't too bad with driving, but I definitely saw a difference as well. So that's going to be situated before this truck goes for a joyride again. But overall, like, maybe it was a little much weight for how light of a rig this is. Oops. For how light of a rig this is, but I didn't mind it. I'm going to keep them on. I'm pretty happy with them. Now, this is 302 grams of weight for these knuckles on the front end, but as I said, it's unsprung, so it's under the shocks. It's not an issue compared to running the SSD, which was 142 for the pair. So one of those knuckles weighs more than both of these knuckles combined. Kind of wild, but as I said, it just created a much more planted rig. So when it comes to what you're trying to achieve and what you're trying to do, you should decide on how much weight you want. If the equipment or the electronics you're running, you put on the weight, and all of a sudden your rig feels sluggish and doesn't want to move the way it should, then you probably have too much weight. Now, as I said, I'm running brushless and high voltage, so I don't think it really worked against the grain on me on that. So yeah. Now, in order to have made this a fair test, really, too, I should have ran both sets of knuckles the same day. I didn't do that. It would have been better for comparison just because of how the weather was. Yes, the temperature was similar, but the rocks were colder because we were on a much more of a cold front this time around, whereas the first time in the Red Means Go video, which is where I ran the SSD, and you can see the difference of how the front end lifted with those compared to these if you watch both videos. Now, it was, we just came out of a warm front, so the rocks were warmer than they were this time, as well as this time it rained the day prior, so the rocks were a little more slick than they were the first time, which I feel like if it was similar temperatures, these would have shown much better results than they did with this video. But I'm still happy with the results. Like there, I do show the one section where it's a climb I haven't made yet though. With that line, I didn't make it as far this time as I have when the truck was lighter, but at the same time, it was slicker and colder and working against the grain. But regardless of fact, I'm pretty happy with them. I'm going to keep them on. I'm going to keep running them. And if I decide that it's too much in the long run, I still have the SSD and I can swap over. But I appreciate taking the time to watch this video. If you have any more points or opinions of the situation, feel free to leave a comment. I'll be happy to read it and talk with you about it. I would ask that you leave a like if you liked the video and hit that subscribe button so you can help my channel grow and join the Albatwitch channel. And I will see you the next adventure. Thank you.